Good morning, good morning, good morning. Action for Uganda. Demic is a patch corner. It's my patch, it's my corner. So that in this corner I speak, I come to you people. I speak, I don't know who's gonna listen to me. I don't know who will watch the video. I don't know what comments you make, but you are all welcome. Demic is a Saturday today tennis and we are looking forward. We have Uganda breeding coming on about 5 p.m. Ugandan time for 2 hours. You can come and speak and say whatever you want to say. So today we are talking about which way do you want to go? Problematic? Do you want to go surgical? Do you want to go on mourning? Keep on mourning, fighting, infighting? Just ask yourself, which way do you want to go? That is a crucial point that we need to find ourselves. We have got people like Zake is determined, he will do anything, and the other people they are scared, they balina katengo, but Zake is never going to be deterred. So we have to look at Zake, what has happened all week. He's done so wonders and he will always do so. It doesn't make other people bad, but it is Zake and it will always be Zake. I'm gonna go by videos and we see what has happened this week. So let me see clearly. Okay.
Honorable Zake, just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute.
Mr. Speaker, let me first finish up my matter.
I'm the one who has allowed you. I will allow you. Don't mind.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker.
That clip for those 20 seconds will haunt the Uganda Parliament, the NRM, the Deputy Speaker, and everybody will haunt them for the rest of their life because Zake is begging to speak. Zake is begging for opportunity to speak, but he was not given opportunity to speak. You ask yourself why? When we have got these people speaking rubbish, internal conflict, they were given for all the time they wanted to speak. And that is why I mean that there is discrimination. Discrimination is treating people different, unfairly from how other people they are being treated. What right now as we are, Nabanja went on to get a prisoner, but we have got so many prisoners. We've got 4 women prisoners. Olivia retired. There are so many, they are there. Honorable Zaki, they've been there, but Nabanja used her position against our constitution, Article 128, to say that no one should go beyond to compromise over the orders, over the powers of judiciary. But Nabanja did it, and this is what happened. She was given opportunity, but no one else.
Let me give you an example. Do you remember recently when I went to court in order to help an old woman who was in prison? Today, I have been in the chambers of Chief Justice, and we have made the defenses, and life is continuing. So for me, you know, in Uganda, I cannot speak.
You see, that is a shame on the Uganda judiciary system. I've said on record it is into crisis. Independence is lacking in institutions of Uganda, and that confirms Uganda is a failed state. Nabanja, she went and got a prisoner. So they have just talked about it and it's done. So we have got the Chief Justice. They cannot reprimand that prisoner to be brought back, but we've got prisoners rotting in jail. No one is getting them. That is abuse of power. That is living in a dictatorial world. Nabanja went there. And if you see, he said They went and they talked about it. They went and they sorted this. So how can we justify all this, what they are doing? They went and talked about it. This is them talking about, that is them. As you can see, they are having coffee, they are having a laugh over the life of Ugandans, over the life doing what they want, playing with our law, playing with the judiciary. That is totally unacceptable. And Winnie Odoro should resign. Winnie Odoro has proven he is incompetent. These are facts. We are not going to go by emotions. This is what I'm saying. Problematic. What do you want? Do you want to be there all the time? You lament, you complain all the time. We have to put them onto the spot. We have got now chances that every day they make mistakes. We have got evidence by text, by voice, by chat, by video. They will come out and speak. This is how we make them eat their words. So Uganda is unfair based on what happened. The Prime Minister got a prisoner and other prisoners, so the court couldn't stop him. The law, they cannot apprehend her. She should resign, and the Chief Justice should resign. We can talk so much. So which way do we want to go, Ugandans? We have to ask ourselves, which way do we want to go? Problematic that when a problem comes, we step on the ladder and we present ourselves as alternative to sort out, to counter that problem, and they give an idea, give an alternative. When you are in opposition, you become an alternative. It doesn't mean you become impotent. When you are in the opposition alternative, you must present to the people that you are capable. You pick up the government on their mistakes. You counter them. You pin them. You demand accountability non-stop. This is what we should be doing. But people, they are not doing that. People are relaxed. People are waiting for general election. People are waiting for the Pope to come. So what has happened? What do we want? Do you want surgical operation? What do you want? Part of Uganda, Mutua once gave us 5 ways how we can do this, but people, they are immune to certain words. These words are there in politics. You cannot delete them. You cannot change them. They are what they are. They are methods you use. NRM used the Bush war. They came into what by Bush. So people, they come, Rutua came by coup. So what do we want? How do we position ourselves? Do we want to keep on ranting? Do you want to keep on mourning? Our president tells us that it's never time. It's no longer time to lament. It's time for action. For me, this is why I call my program Action for Uganda. We need to be people of action, not action fighting, not action insulting our leaders, but actions towards those people. People in Uganda, you have a fear that when you talk about the opposition, when you talk about NRM, you are giving them mileage. No, we are not giving them mileage. We NUP, we are alternative. We got no hiding. We can do secret meetings, secret plans, but there is somewhere we have to come out. Because now, look at this. This is corruption going on in Uganda. Every day, 9th December, they join, they celebrate what? They sign. What are these signing going to help us? They are not going to help us at all, because corruption is existing. Corruption, we have got the ringleaders. Corruption is about NRM, how they operate. They leave each other to do these things. So this is Anita telling you about corruption. I don't know, and I know Betty Kamia, you know this. It's a long video, but it's worth listening to me. For me, it's win to win. I'm not going to entertain you. I'm not going to tell you. But this is what Anita is saying.
It appears the investment system in the country needs an overhaul as the sector minister makes more shocking revelations hours after 2 technocrats from the ministry were netted for soliciting for bribes.
Investors have had to confide in me to tell me how it is very expensive to even access me as the Minister of Investment, because the ones who bring them as middlemen charge them money. Because you clearly know that someone doesn't have money, someone is not an investor in your country, but he's now coming to posture in front of you as a partner to this foreign investor.
At a time when the nation is struggling to set the pace for transition into the middle income status, it appears the possibility of a private sector-driven economy is a distant dream.
The whole thing is very, very ashaming. Apart from ashaming, alarming. Apart from being alarming, it is frustrating that at one hand you're talking about fighting corruption, on the other hand there are people who are public servants, the general public, just an ordinary citizen, involved in picking money from a foreigner, and yet at one point in time they talk about Uganda being a hospitable country. Now where is the hospitality?
Backdoors in the boardrooms of the investment ministry, technocrats connive with middlemen to make a killing of any potential investor.
The power to sign off a document lies with the minister, but they are saying, for me to work on this document, to take it to the minister, you must give me something. Because they know they don't have the power, but they know they're the ones who do the drafting of the letter, which is something very uncouth.
In a clearly rehearsed syndicate, technocrats then frustrate any investor who does not cooperate with the bribery process.
Those who are doing that, they're still with us. But you as the minister, you don't have the powers to fire. So the only thing is, digitalize everything, put it on the electronic system, so that you can clearly see what is there. Put cameras, because the culture of delaying, you're asking just for a letter to be written to be given to you, someone will take 100 years.
The rot, according to Anite, extends to the Uganda Investment Authority, the body charged with spearheading the nation's investment agenda.
You find 3 investors being allocated the same piece of land. 3 different investors allocated the same piece of land, and all this is being given to them by one boss called UIL. And they have their titles. I was taken aback and I'm like, what is this craziness? I could not believe.
So the question is, how do these conmen find their way to meeting the president?
They say for you to go and see the president, you must give some money. And for you to access Anita, you must pay. I've told you, the investors themselves have confessed to me that it is very expensive to meet you. And I'll tell them how. And I tell them, well, so how much did you pay to this investor, to this middleman? Sometimes I chase them out.
The impact has been disastrous, with investors fleeing in huge numbers to neighboring countries.
Over 20 companies that initially came to Uganda to come and establish their factories in Uganda, but because of the bureaucracy, because of the bribes that my fellow Ugandans ask before they can implement the work, they've all relocated to the other countries in East Africa. They are there in Rwanda.
Reforming the civil service appears a huge task as the nation continues to face the hard blows of theft of public money. In cabinet yesterday, the president revealed that he fired an investment minister over enormous love for kitu kidogo, the common name for bribes. And so the big question remains, how does a nation sort out a rotten system like that in this country? Sabit Joseph, NBS, live at 9.
Kati, you have heard that what is happening in Uganda, that people are taking bribes, people are taking banks, but we don't want that to happen. So we should not accept that. That is where we are. The minister, who was the business minister, Anite, has explained very well how corruption happens. So I don't understand why we have a corruption day. Why don't we have a day like 18th and 19th, Black November, where Ugandans were being killed? Uganda government, NRM, is still far away from the world that Uganda lives matters or Uganda matters. We have got leaders who believe if they give service delivery they lose their privilege, they lose their positions. But that is not the way it is. When you give people what they want, they actually leave you. But if you don't, they don't leave you. Now, we saw this week, we saw what happened with the doctors kneeling for the president. That is very shameful action. Was embarrassing. It's not about educated people, but in Uganda, people they are tied back. They look for opportunities like this to gain money or to gain a job. People you see there, all those people, whether they are doctors or pretending to be doctors, kneeling there, they are being told to go and kneel, and then they'll get jobs. Very soon you will see they will be promoted. I heard the leader of the medical ward resigned, which is good because we don't want such institutions to be political in Uganda. When you look at Ugandans, that is how the police is treating them. But then they come and they kneel down for the person who is in charge of the country, the person who elects the IGP, the person who has got power to say, hey, get your house into the house. So that is how we are, that you find that people like them, they are four main important people. On my left, there is Mao, there is Napanja, there is Owinodoro, there is Chiriowa. All these people, they are in important position in Uganda. Mao is the constitutional affairs. That is the biggest position. Nabanja is the prime minister. It's a big position. And Owinodoro, chief justice, we big position. And Chiriowa, attorney general, big. These are like four heads, but they are like empty heads or headless chicken. The way they are acting, when they come to make up that Nabanja took a prisoner out of the court and then he broke the law, then they come in the public to give you all this, to put on a show. This is what I mean, that in Uganda, everybody is naive, everybody is vulnerable. So how can Ugandans be naive to accept such a picture? To accept people to stand like that, we should be calling for their heads to resign. How people, they are vulnerable, that they cannot even speak. They cannot even talk about this, that was wrong. Attorney General, we want our people out. We want you to bring back the people. These four people, they are in charge of oppressing Ugandans. They are in charge of allowing people to abduct NUP because they are head of institutions. If they were doing their job, they would have chased them and said, don't bring prisoners like that. Don't abduct people. Arrest people the right way. Chiriowa should advise the government which way they should do things illegally. Owinodoro should be in charge to say that should never happen. Robin and Nabanja should also get his ministers, internal ministers, foreign, wherever, don't do this. And then constitutionally, somebody who knows the constitution, maybe he doesn't know that, he should say no abduction, no one should be tortured, no information should be given. So these four people, they should resign. Mao should resign, Nabanja should resign, Owinodoro should resign, Chiowa should resign. And we have to get used to this habit of calling people to resign. And now we have got another image. So NRM, they have taken their problems. Namuganza has always had a problem. He had a fight with the Kadaga. So now she's come out, and then they take it to the parliament. When they take it to the parliament, they give the whole session to sort out, to ask her to apologize. But it was only 28 seconds that Zaki begged them and begged them, allow me to speak. Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, allow me to speak. And he was refused. But I'm telling you, Tayewa, you will regret.
Just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute.
Mr. Speaker, let me first
No.
finish up my
No.
matter.
I'm the one who has allowed you. I will allow you. Don't mind.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker,
Okay, Honorable Zaki, thank you so much for everything that you are doing, because you are doing a very, very big job. Thank you for your character, because your ones, what Honorable Zaki is doing, it is inborn. It is inborn with him to do all these things, whatever he's doing. And we are proud that we have, we have him in NUP, and we wait for a lever. And I believe when you came in from America, you said you were going to do what? You were going to fight to release the people. So Honorable Zaki, you stood by your word and you haven't given up. So what do we want? Problematic. What do we want? Which way do we want to go? Do you want to sort out a problem? It's like we are seeing people like footballers. They might find a person like Messi, but they have to sit down and find a way how to deal with him, neutralize him. How are we going to neutralize this whole project? How are we going to counter this to stop? Are we sitting back when things like this they are happening? The corruption that they have recovered the money. But Anita has told us how corruption happens. So they haven't tackled the problem, how corruption happens. Which way do we want to go? Do you want to carry on like moaning, saying, oh, no, problematic, let us find a way. I'm telling you, I watched football last night for about 20 minutes. I saw how Netherlands planned ahead to stop Messi. Although he set up a goal, that is one which confirms him as one of the best players. But however, they had 6 people not closer to him, but blocking all the spaces where he can go. So what is our method to counter Mohos? We can counter him on several platforms. Some can be on constitution, some in the parliament, some on the ground, some everywhere. We have to mobilize, we have to speak out, we have to continue. So I'm crying for people from diaspora, please. Aren't you tired of cleaning? Aren't you tired of care work? Aren't you tired of service? Aren't you tired of paying taxes? Aren't you tired of working off your socks that things they don't go well? Aren't you tired of seeing your loved ones, you have to feed them? Can't you learn that where you are, those nations, they look after their people. They don't, no one needs to send them money. Aren't you tired? You are the people still with the energy, with the vigor, with the good motive to go and kunga on the street. Unless you don't want to, you continue to disappear. You continue to think you should not do it. So, Honorable Zaki, I would like to thank you so much. And I would like to say, get well, get well, my what? Honorable Shamim Malende. I would like to thank all these people who are posting, people who are doing lives, people who are, no matter, don't worry, whether people they don't watch it, it's no problem. Put bueno to bueno. You put facts there. That is how we have to get into this. We need to put facts there. Ranting, you can come and say, bah, 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 bah. You get numbers, but do they make any difference? People, NRM is attracting NUP or opposition. Are we attracting those NRM? We want to attract them. We want to bring them onto the board. When the voting comes, we need them to vote with us. There has been several voting in parliament. Like when you went for the Speaker of the Parliament, we got 66 numbers, and deputy we got less. And you find yourself that among NUP, they have the people who go and vote those people. Clarity, what do you want? What approach? Do you want a one-off moment? Then behind the scenes, you do things different. We need to examine ourselves. It's not a point of we are wasting our time. Do we want to be like FDC? No, we are not for FDC. We want to take power. When we see Muhoozi is fighting, people like Otafile has got to be apprehended. Otafile 1 minute is saying those people abducting NUP should go in prison. And then when human, and then he doesn't stop the abduction. And then he says he doesn't know. Then he says something to do with the NUP taking people in Nairobi that the police should investigate. But he has never investigated the abduction. He has never investigated the drones on our street. And he's the Minister of Internal Affairs. What is happening in NRM is laughable. What is happening in NRM? Our preamble, that should never happen again, and that will never happen again. We are not going to come and sign on the dot that we stop corruption. Signing doesn't stop. You stop where the corruption stands. When all ministries, they cannot function. So how are you going to stop corruption? If I apply for a passport, it takes how many days? How is life hasn't been easier. You need 100 documents to get any document that you were entitled for. So whatever they do, it's not going to happen. But end of the day, this is gonna be our chance. What do you want? What do you want? Our weekly update, things they keep on going. Our honorables, MPs were returned. They are due to come back in 2020. We have got Muhoozi rumbling. For me, I'm not scared of talking of him. I don't give him mileage. I've got my critique. I pin him, I counter him. And if I had people who counter him, he would be away from social media. But if he put something there, those bootlickers, they like, it's gonna go on. But these messages we send, they count. Then we have corruption. Corruption doesn't work. Corruption in Uganda is higher in police, 70%, judiciary 57%, health 48%. They are everywhere. Traffic is 67%. So Uganda, where corruption shouldn't happen, should be happening now. And then we see where are we heading now. We are heading for 2026. Unless we do something to stop, we might not be able to stop it. But this is why I'm saying, what do we want? What is it that we want? Problematic. Do you want to sort out the problem? Do you have risk assessment? Those people who see things in advance, those people who can use data and say we need to do this, or are we going like we just we are like these people how do we call them? These people will respond like anything that happens, we respond, we drop it, then we watch, we catch. 2 days we forget. We must be consistent. I said to that. We must be patient as well. Consistency matters. If you want to take out a dictator, we need to be consistent. So what do we want? Which method? Are we going gorilla? Are we going coup? Are we going kunga? Kunga is the best alternative. Because what they do, people now, they have started speaking out. People, they have started now coming out. Thank you, everybody who have gone to human rights. Thank you, SG, Louis Lubongia, for doing that, because it matters a lot. I started talking about prisoners. Not many believed, but now everybody now can see where I was going. When I come and speak something, I don't speak for irrational. I speak like I've thought about it, I've looked at something, which way is better, which way is good to start and to stop. I'm not the best, but sometimes I got a knack of pointing where the problem is. I cannot say here how we are going to sort it out, because I believe into internal, I believe into help and support groups, I believe into leaders that they can do whatever. But if we can be any help, we can be in help. We've got so many Ugandans in prison, so many Ugandans nursing injuries, so many Ugandans traumatized because of what the government has done, and we got of all people who want for change. People, they are thirsty for change. People, they want change. The desire is genuine. So I invite you today to join Uganda Bleeding today, 5 p.m. Ugandan time, 2 p.m. UK. Europe is gonna start 3 p.m. 5 minutes. You speak out. You say whatever you wanna say. There is no barrier on how much you can say. So for that, I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching, sharing. But this is win or to win. These videos are played, these clips are worth, the photos are said, they stand out as winner to win, and one day we will look onto this and they will look back. Solid people power, our power, NUP everywhere, everywhere NUP. Salute.